Hey everybody, this is Todd with Industrial Comfort. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful walnut wood wireless charging station for your iPhone. I've even included a cutout to accommodate the protruding lenses, which will allow for more efficient charging on the pad. So let's get to work. Okay, so we got this charging pad from Amazon.com, UTech. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove this anti-slip ring on the bottom, which I'm guessing probably obfuscates the screws that keep this thing together. Yep, there they are. So peel this off and it looks like there are 5 screws. Okay, so here's the inside, and this is going to pop right out. We've got the cable right here. So now what I'm going to do is get the wood that we're going to use, and we're going to create a pocket for this wireless charging pad. To create the pocket, I'm using a piece of 1/4-inch plywood that I'm going to use as the jig or the template. There's already one hole in this piece of wood. I'm just creating another. Now I've got this beautiful piece of white walnut or butternut that I got from a barn up in Vermont. So what I'm going to do is use this template that I just created, and there was already a hole cut here. So I cut a 3-inch hole with my Forstner bit. And this is going to allow us to nest this charging pad along with the cable inside this piece of butternut. So I'm going to go ahead and put some wood tape on this to keep it steady, and then we'll flip it over and start routing. Now what's critically important is setting the depth gauge before we begin in the routing process. So we want our cutting head to leave about an 1/8 inch of material on the bottom of what will become this charging pad here. For the routing process, I'm using a 1/2 inch spiral upcut bit that I'm using to create the pocket in this piece of white walnut. Now, make sure that you only go down an 1/8 of an inch at a time. You never want to try to plunge the entire depth of the material that you're looking to remove, or else you'll get uneven cuts and the router will tend to buck as it bites into material. I now cut the piece of wood in half so I can create a sandwich with a top and a bottom. In order to neatly pass the cable through this charging pad, I'm using an 1/8 inch spiral upcut bit to create a small channel. So the first thing that we want to do is place the charger into this piece of wood and then make sure that we're getting a charge from the underside. And there we go. So we know it's going to work, so now we can finish shaping the charging pad. For this next step, I'm just going to measure where I want the phone to be so that I can trim what will eventually be the charging pad so that it's the exact same size as the phone itself. And then I'll probably go 1/4 of an inch on either side to keep it pretty tight. We're now going to hot glue the charging pad in place. I take the piece of wood that I cut off earlier and trim it dimensionally to the same size as the charging pad and glue it to the back. With the glue now dried, I bring the charging pad over to the router table and use a 1/4 inch radius roundover bit to smooth over the edges of the charging pad. You'll notice when I lay the phone on the charging pad, the protruding lens prevents the phone from laying flat. Now this is going to diminish the charging capability. So I mark on the pad where I'm going to cut a recess so that the phone will lay flush. Now I set a block on the router table and I'm using a dish bit at 1 1/8 inches to create this pocket. I give the pad a quick sand with 120 grit and then move to 240 grit by hand. As always, I'm going to put my favorite top coat on, which is a little True Oil. The last step is to add anti-slip stickers to each of the corners, and then we'll be done. I hope you found this project helpful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching.